What if tomorrow everything stopped? Not just the Wi-Fi or the trains or the power. I mean everything. The systems we rely on, the institutions we trust, the very fabric of civilization, gone. Imagine waking up to find out the world has turned to static, cities silent, governments vanished. Your phone buzzing not with texts from friends, but with emergency alerts, mass panics, and silence. A virus, unknown and unstoppable, sweeps across the globe like wildfire. Within weeks, it decimates populations, topples economies, and turns once thriving nations into hollow, desperate wastelands. There is no cavalry coming, no superhero landing, just a single military vessel, isolated at sea, unaware that the world has collapsed in its absence. And on board, a crew tasked with a mission that's gone from routine to do or die. This isn't just a story of survival, it's a war for the future of humanity. And what follows is nothing short of breathtaking. At first glance, it seemed like a simple Arctic deployment, a research mission shrouded in protocol and secrecy, the kind of quiet operation that never makes headlines. But when the first missiles fly and communications go dead, reality cracks wide open. The woman leading the mission? She's not just any scientist. She's holding the key to the only thing that might stop the extinction of the human race. The ship? It's not just a vessel. It's humanity's last stronghold. And the world they return to? It's not the one they left behind. Cut off, surrounded, alone in every sense of the word. The crew becomes both the target and the hope. Hunted by enemies who crave control of the cure, haunted by the families they can't protect, hurled into the chaos of a collapsing civilization where allies are scarce and trust is even scarcer. The sea becomes their sanctuary and their battlefield. What makes this descent into global chaos so captivating is the vision behind it. The minds steering this ship, Hank Steinberg and Stephen Kane. Two names that know how to craft intensity. Steinberg, known for Without a Trace, has always excelled at weaving emotional suspense and layered characters. Kane brought edge and unpredictability to Alias and NCIS, combining action with razor-sharp plotting. Together, they create a world that's claustrophobic and expansive, gritty and philosophical. One moment you're in a quiet briefing room, wrestling with a life-altering choice. The next, you're in a screaming naval battle, missiles streaking through the sky. This is survival, not just in body, but in spirit. Their world doesn't give characters time to breathe, and neither do they let us. At the heart of this storm is one man, Captain Tom Chandler. Played by Grey's Anatomy alum Eric Dane, Chandler isn't your typical action hero. He doesn't bark orders for the sake of dominance. He commands because he must, because the weight of the world has chosen him to bear it. And Dane delivers every damn time. He gives us a commander who bleeds, who breaks, who questions. A leader not because he's fearless, but because he leads in spite of fear. Backing him up is Adam Baldwin as Commander Mike Slattery, a rock-solid second-in-command whose loyalty and grit ground the crew in humanity, even when the world outside turns monstrous. Supporting roles from Charles Parnell, Travis Van Winkle, and Marissa Neitling elevate the ensemble, with each actor anchoring the ship with performances that feel real, urgent, and raw. The chemistry isn't just convincing, it's vital. Because in a world like this, if you can't trust your crew, you're already dead. So what is this series, this cinematic storm of tension and truth? It's called The Last Ship. But by the time you hear that title, you've already realized it's more than just a name, it's a prophecy. The plot follows the USS Nathan James, a top-tier Navy destroyer that leaves on a scientific expedition only to return to a planet that's fallen into chaos. What was meant to be a simple mission turns into a last stand for mankind. From the Arctic to the Caribbean, from DC to global hot zones, each episode cranks up the stakes. The ship becomes the epicenter of humanity's final hope as governments crumble, warlords rise, and enemies, both foreign and domestic, try to seize power. But the biggest threats? They're not always out there. Sometimes they're within. Doubt, fear, ego, the crushing burden of command. These are the forces that test the crew more than any torpedo ever could. Across 5 intense seasons and 56 episodes, each averaging about 45 minutes, The Last Ship walks a tightrope between relentless action and quiet devastation. The pacing is purposeful. Early episodes hit hard and fast, like a naval strike. Explosions, betrayals, global stakes. Later seasons slow things down, not in intensity, but in depth. We see the weight of leadership, the scars of battle, the desperation of choices made with too little information and too much at stake. And while a few storylines may drift like a ship lost in fog, the overall arc is tight, driven, and deeply satisfying. Each season feels like a campaign, each episode a mission. Let's be clear, this isn't just a show about ships and shootouts, it's about people, and that's where The Last Ship shines. Eric Dane's performance is a masterclass in military leadership under fire. His Chandler is more than a captain. He's a moral compass spinning under pressure, always trying to find north even when the world burns. Adam Baldwin brings steadiness, but not without his own cracks. His Slattery is the kind of man who doesn't speak unless it matters, and when he does, you listen. Rhona Mitra's Dr. Scott is both fierce and haunted. Her quest to find a cure is not just medical, it's emotional. She carries the burden of humanity's salvation on her shoulders, and Mitra lets us feel every ounce of it. Supporting performances bring texture, emotion, and reality to the chaos. This is a cast that bleeds for their roles, and it shows. Visually, The Last Ship is a triumph. Director of photography Lucas Etlin crafts a world that feels vast and intimate. His lens captures the scale of war and the quiet moments of doubt with equal power. Aerial shots of the open sea reinforce the crew's isolation. Tight quarters on the ship ramp up the tension. Explosions light up night skies like fireworks for a world that no longer celebrates. The color grading, cool, muted, often gray, mirrors the cold uncertainty of a world lost to plague and panic. And the battle sequences, surgical, tactical, brutal. You feel every shell, every torpedo, every decision. It's not just shot, it's orchestrated. Audiences responded with fervor, especially those who love military thrillers, survival narratives, and moral complexity. On IMDb, The Last Ship holds a solid 7.4 out of 10. Critics on Rotten Tomatoes gave it an impressive 83%, with audience scores sitting at 68%. Some viewers felt the later seasons stretched believability, but most agreed this series stuck the landing, kept its edge, and delivered on the promise of high-stakes drama. And that's not easy over 5 seasons. So, should you set sail? If you're drawn to stories about leadership in chaos, courage under fire, and the razor-thin line between survival and collapse, absolutely. If you crave fast-paced action, layered with emotional dilemmas and strategic stakes, this one's for you. But if you're looking for slow-burn character introspection with little external conflict, this ship may sail a bit too fast for your taste. Still, there's no denying it. The Last Ship stands tall in a sea of survival stories, because in a world where everything goes dark, this is the light that fights to stay on. Thanks for watching this deep dive on The Last Ship. If you enjoyed the breakdown, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below with your thoughts. Have you watched it? Did it hit the right emotional notes for you? Or do you think it sank somewhere along the way? Let me know what we should scout next. And until next time, keep watching, keep scouting,